The Tennessee Titans are starting to decline. With a majorly unproven offense, atrocious blocking, and a defense that doesn't seem better than average, this Titans team does not look good on paper. And while I typically am low on them and they continue to prove me wrong, the consensus power ranking for them this year is 23rd. I'm Chase Keller from Chase Keller Journalism, and today I'm going to discuss the 2023 Tennessee Titans, why I think they're going to go 5-12, and why they came up in 24th in my 2023 power rankings. If this offense did not have Derrick Henry, it would easily be one of, if not the worst offense in the NFL. Even with Derrick Henry, I have them ranked as the 29th best offense in the NFL. And outside of Derrick Henry, there aren't any superstars, let alone stars, in this offense. Yet, when I dove into this offense behind the scenes, I noticed a couple players who could become stars. With the quarterback being the most important position on the team, it is a little unfortunate that the Titans have almost no upside in this QB room. Ryan Tannehill, who I have at a 77 overall, is the starting quarterback for this roster, and the former 8th overall pick is one of the best game managers in the NFL, but there's nothing flashy about him. He's also turning 35 before the season starts, and he still does what he needs to do and is easily the best QB on the roster. Yet the team just drafted Will Levis in the 2nd round, and my opinions on Levis are different from the consensus. I do see some current hidden talents and upside in Will Levis. His arm talent seems nice, his mobility out of the pocket is a little bit better than a lot of people praise, and his decision making can be improved with the right coaching. But what he has now is bare bones. As I mentioned, his decision making can be improved, but right now it is awful. He also has mediocre accuracy and bad field vision. And last year this team drafted Malik Willis, who the team is already giving up on. In my overall system, he fell 5 points after an atrocious rookie year where he completed just over 50% of passes, had 0 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown to 3 interceptions and 3 fumbles. Let alone getting benched for Josh Dobbs also dropped his rating a bit. Along with these quarterbacks, this team has great playmaking upside, and the playmakers, some of them are proven, some of them are breakout grades. The one proven guy is obvious, as we know how elite running back Derrick Henry actually is. Just by himself, he can make the Titans 7-10. And in a situation like this, he will need to be relied on more than ever. Derrick Henry wins everywhere. His physical traits are obviously there. His field vision is fantastic. His elusiveness is mediocre, but that doesn't matter when his physicality carries him. The only knock I could find on Derrick Henry was his ball security took a big step back in 2022, where he fumbled 6 times. For comparison, he fumbled 1 time in 441 snaps and dealt with injury. And last year, he fumbled once every 108 snaps, which is a big step down. And while Derrick Henry may be turning 29, he has given me no reason to drop his overall. The first of 2 breakout grades out of these playmakers is Treylon Burks, wide receiver who came from Arkansas in the 2022 NFL Draft. He missed time to injuries and played just under 400 snaps in his rookie year, yet I loved the promise he showed through what I exactly expected. I was expecting his measurables and physical traits to be the big dominating factor in his game, and that's exactly what it was. In terms of current ability, he showed his big deep threat ability using his physical tools, and in terms of upside, he also has contested catch upside that I didn't see enough of on film. He also has smooth hands that protect drops, as he dropped 1 pass and 53 targets last year. The wide receiver 1 upside of Burks, as he showed in 2022, is going to pop out in 2023 if he stays clear of injuries. And if I had to give the Titans one piece of advice, I would say throw Treylon Burks wherever you want, as he has the alignment versatility, he just didn't show enough of it in 2022. The second playmaker breakout grade is Chigo Okonkwo, who is currently only a 72 overall on my board, but in terms of what he could become, he has top 5 tight end upside. I had an early 5th round grade out of him out of the draft, which was a 62 overall. Okonkwo showed extreme promise as a receiving tight end, as he nagged 14 yards per reception, which was the most out of all eligible tight ends. Those tight ends being ones who have had at least 30 targets. Okonkwo had 45. Okonkwo also had 22 first down receptions, which is great noting that he had only 32 receptions. Okonkwo's hands could also improve, and what I noticed out of his tape out of college was that his blocking wasn't really there, and that currently explains why he's not a good tight end right now. Naturally, his blocking is going to be a bit lackluster as he does lack a good amount of play strength. To summarize, these playmakers and their heavy upside should help whoever plays quarterback and develop them well. But with Derrick Henry already breaking out, one of the other mentioned guys has to break out, right? The only thing that could hold back the QB play is the atrocious blocking that the Tennessee Titans currently have. The blocking has taken massive steps back throughout the last couple of years, but it's primarily because they've lost a bit of key pieces. They lost Jack Conklin, they lost Taylor Lewan, which was expected, they lost Ben Jones, who they mainly lost because he's old, and most recently, they lost a very promising guard in Nate Davis. And the current blocking does not look too hot at all. First round draft pick Peter Skoronski is currently the best offensive lineman on the roster, and it's by a significant margin. I believe Skoronski should start at left tackle, as we'll talk about Andre Dillard here in a second, but he played left tackle all throughout college, and Andre Dillard has only played guard in the NFL. The only knock that he has at left tackle is that his length is pretty bad for a left tackle, so he may give up a lot of sacks to athletic or elusive rushers. Yet, there's many things that you just can't ignore about Peter Skoronski. Peter Skoronski is the most NFL-ready offensive lineman in the 2023 NFL draft class, as he has that elite technique that many offensive linemen don't have in the NFL. He's also very solid athletically, and he also has the versatility to play outside and inside, as previously mentioned. So I think Andre Dillard should be playing left guard, and I think this was more of an overrated signing this offseason. Dillard has never played more than 350 snaps throughout his career, and when he's even played, he hasn't showed too many bright spots. While pass blocking has true upside for Dillard, his run blocking can be absolutely awful at sometimes. He just doesn't really have the experience to both start and play left tackle, which is why currently I have Andre Dillard as the worst starting offensive lineman on this roster. At a 65 overall in my board, Aaron Brewer is playing center. Brewer played his first 1,000 plus snap season last year, and he was a bit mediocre. As a pass blocker, Brewer allowed 36 pressures, 28 hurries, and 4 sacks, which in their respective categories is 12th most, 10th most, and tied for 20th most across all interior offensive linemen. Brewer played guard last year, so this is likely another guy who's going to be moving positions, but at least he has some experience at center, as he had 2 stints at center last year compared to 15 at left guard. Now, I thought Dillard was an overrated signing. This signing of Daniel Brunskill is underrated. Tennessee only got him for 2 years, $3.5 million, which is good for a starting guard and a scarce bright spot on the O-line. The 2017 undrafted free agent has showed great promise in his first 4 years with San Francisco. While at San Francisco, he was an average pass blocker, and while an unproven run blocker, he has shown heavy improvements in that aspect. He's also better in zone blocking, which can replicate what the Titans are looking to do. And finally, at right tackle, the current starter on our lads is Nicholas Petit-Frere at a 60 overall, which, as I mentioned before, Dillard was the worst starter, so Petit-Frere couldn't possibly be the worst starter. I was not high on this guy coming out of college. I had a mid-5th round grade on him, and he has not proven anything to me yet. In a mediocre rookie season, he allowed 35 pressures, 25 hurries, and 5 sacks as a pass blocker, and as a run blocker, he was a fantastic yet inconsistent zone blocker, and that's about it. His gap blocking was awful. The upside is there, but there's someone that I like more than Petit-Frere for the starting right tackle spot. That guy is 6th round rookie Jalen Duncan, who I actually had a mid-4th round grade on, as he was my 9th favorite offensive tackle in this draft and the best on the board at the time of the selection. Now, I'm under full expectation that Jalen Duncan starts his career playing backup left tackle, but I think he can move over to right and fill in that void. As an overall line, the pass block blocking is quite possibly the NFL's worst, as in 2022 they allowed 198 pressures, 128 hurries, and 33 sacks. And according to PFF, the Titans' best pass blocker to record over 250 pass block snaps was now 33-year-old center Ben Jones. To summarize, it's very obvious that this Titans offensive line needs heavy refurbishment. The draft selection of Peter Skoronski was an amazing selection, but it's not nearly enough. This team is going to need to pick up more experience and more pass blockers to have this O-line anywhere near average. The final topic that I want to talk about when discussing this roster is the bright pass defense. It's not proven, and the defense is not great. I have them ranked as the 24th best in the NFL, 14th in the AFC, and 3rd in the AFC South, only in front of the Colts. They do have a good amount of upside in their defense. It starts with their cornerback room, where they have two very young, highly drafted cornerbacks who are still at the low end of their career. And they also have a couple 90+ overall superstars that can help develop these guys. Yet we've already discussed upside in the playmakers, so why not discuss the brightest part of this defense in its pass defense? As I previously mentioned, this secondary has fantastic upside, but there's some already proven talents, and it starts with one of the best safeties in the NFL and Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard's coverage is getting better as time goes on, as he consistently allowed 70% of receptions up until the final 2 seasons where he's been allowing less than 70%. That number even dropped as low as 63.5% in 2021. I guess allowing these catches came with the cost of allowing more yards after the reception, and don't let that fool you for his tackling. He still misses less than 5% of his tackles in most seasons. The second safety is someone who, in my opinion, doesn't get enough attention, and that is 81 overall Amani Hooker. Hooker is easily overshadowed by Byard, and in terms of coverage, he has put up 1,575 coverage snaps, 101 targets, which is a 6.4% target rate, 74 receptions, which is a 73.3% completion percentage allowed, and so far it seems average until you note that in 4 seasons he's only allowed 2 touchdowns. So a contract of 3 years and $30 million seems fair for his skill. When we get to the cornerback room, we have 274 overalls, highlighting it with Christian Fulton and Roger McCreary. For Christian Fulton, he was a late 2nd round pick out of LSU in 2020, and I had an early 2nd round grade and top 25 prospect grade on him. Fulton hasn't shown too much, but he also hasn't been bad at all. He has allowed under 60% of targets to be caught in his last 2 seasons, yet he gets targeted an uncomfortable amount of times. In 2021, he had a 12.8% target rate, and in 2022, he had a 12.7% target rate. In a season where he may be seeing almost 1,000 snaps, that's a little bit uncomfortable. In terms of McCreary, he was an early 2nd round grade out of Auburn in 2022, and he was a mid 2nd round grade on my board, and he started at a 71 overall. When it comes to coverage, he's not great, and I noted that as a potential prospect. He allowed just under 70% of his targets to be caught, he allowed 7 touchdowns, and allowed a passer rating of 113.8. His increase of 3 overalls going into 2023 is more centered around his run support, but if you're looking for a coverage corner, you're more just getting that smart corner who's better in the run game than he is in the pass game. The pass rush is also bright for Tennessee, as they have Arden Key and Harold Landry. For Arden Key, he isn't too good as an all-around player, but pass rush is easily his best trait. He's put up 5+ sacks the last 2 seasons, and in 2022, he tied for 37th in the entire league with 51 pressures. Given his off-field issues, this is a controversial and risky pickup for Tennessee, but $7 million a year isn't bad for a guy of his skill. And now it's time to talk about Harold Landry, who I'm not as high on him as a normal fan would be. Seeing 12 sacks on the stat sheet, including 16 total sacks in 2021 and 70 pressures in 2021, is extremely appealing. But don't let the stat sheet fool you, he's been fairly above average for a majority of his career. Not only is he coming off an ACL tear that allowed him to miss the entire 2022 season, he's also very inconsistent when rushing the quarterback. Yet, I don't hate Harold Landry at all. I'm not currently high on him, but after seeing what he could do in 2021, I have a breakout grade on him going into the 2023 season, which is the third and final on this roster. To summarize, this defense has a lot of upside with young defensive backs that can definitely help boost this secondary. Nothing pokes out more on this defense than the passing side of the ball, as the secondary has upside and the pass rush has production. Before I end the video, I want to go over a final summary of the Tennessee Titans and how they ended up at 24th on my power rankings. I go through a rating system that every player has, and through that rating system, I come up with the rankings. So for offense, they got a 73.12, which is 29th in the NFL and last in the AFC. In defense, they had a 72.28, which is 24th in the NFL, 14th in the AFC, and 3rd in the AFC South. In special teams, they had a 69.86, which is 27th in the NFL, 13th in the NFC, and last in the AFC South. And the coaching is a bright spot at a 78 out of 80, which is tied for 11th in the NFL, tied for 6th in the AFC, and is first in the AFC South. This all combines with weighted ratings for a grand total of 74.22, which is 14th in the AFC, 3rd in the AFC South, and 24th in the NFL. That wraps up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this one. Once again, I'm Chase Keller from Chase Keller Journalism, and thank you guys for choosing this channel as your source of sports coverage. I'll see you guys in the next video.